Alright, good afternoon. This is M-Dog, and we're playing a little Everquest Landmark. And today we're just going to take a look at the progress that Artrex made on his house so far. We're going to look at just how grindy is this game. Just going to answer that question on sort of like where I am currently and needing to gather materials. And then we will start to get into some of the building tools briefly. That's going to be for future videos going more in depth, but I wanted to introduce some of those ideas just to give you an idea of what you have, what tools you have. So let's start with Artrex's house here. You see Artrex's claim comes up, and he has a lot of wall back here. I think he plans to eventually clear out. You see where the top of his claim goes, and one interesting thing you can do in this game, and I'll show you that now. You can go to options and you can view stranger claims, and this allows you to see the edges of the claims of other players, not just yours. You can also view or not view your claims, and then once there's a friend system, view or not view friends' claims as well. So we can see how tall Artrex's claim is. The ceiling of it's going to come to somewhere right about here where my character is currently. And you can see how much room he has. So he actually can build up a good bit, probably at least 2 stories higher than where he is now. So if he wants to expand further, which I'm sure he eventually will, he'll probably dig out this entire wall and then build in this space. He also can still go forward a little bit. We'll take a quick look. Go forward a little bit here. So you see he has made some good progress, and we hope to make another video together soon, but I just thought I'd go ahead and update you here. Now here's a little sneak peek. One of the tools that you can use is in the 9 slot for me. It's called the smooth tool. You can see where he's been experimenting, and he did it, just kept going just to see what would happen if he kept smoothing it out. Obviously that needs to be replaced, but you can give things a little bit of character, a little texture, or a little more realistic look where everything isn't just straight lines and blocky shapes. So the smoothing tool is one of the very cool things, and here let's look at another example of it. He actually has used, and I don't know how much you can tell, I'll zoom in a little bit, he's used the smoothing tool up here. You see how it's not as sharp of an edge up here? And again on his window here. Ooh, what is in the way? That window has gotten... Is that the window? Did he did it on there, or is it this one? I think it was this one, but then he did something else and it got in the way, but you might be able to see it from inside. Anyway, you can kind of see this is not an exact square anymore, and again, that was building tool. So he's got some cool stuff going on in here. He's got all of his crafting tables, also put some decorative items down. And so he's making good progress on his house. Excuse me. He started building a lot earlier than I did. I've been pretty focused on just trying to gather and keep up on progressing through both the tools and the crafting tables. Alright, so I want to show you one more thing. So what I am working on right now to craft next is let's see, a couple crafting tables. The tungsten reinforced saw table is one thing I need, and you see that you need 30 burled wood plank. Now the burled wood is the rare wood that comes off every once in a while when you're cutting down trees, and you need 40 of the elemental tungsten, 20 gold ingots, and 40 tungsten ingots. So that's a good bit of material, and this is kind of what I want to talk about a little bit. When you get to this sort of level, this advanced level, you do have to start gathering a good bit to progress. This forge, which would be the newer forge that I haven't made yet, requires worked amaranthine or something like that, a bunch of ingot, 90 ingot, 80 cobalt ingots, and 80 elemental cobalt. Cobalt is something I haven't gathered at all yet, because that's going to be on the level 3 worlds, and I just haven't been there yet. By the way, if you can hear banging or scraping, the house next to ours is getting their roof replaced, so there's sort of the last couple days been constant noise coming, so I apologize for that. So that's just a good example. And this is what I'm going to build next, is tungsten reinforced saw. Obviously, the only thing I need now is the gold. But let me show you kind of how, slowly your progress moves on getting that wood. So you can track anything over here on the left side of the screen here. You can track materials. So remember I said it was that burled wood log. So if you click on any of these, which is things you can make with the burled wood, it will then show you how much burled wood you have. So we have 423 right now. You see it's right here, 423. It shows you this number over here. Okay, so let's just take a look at, now some of these trees are a little glitchy, and so you have to find the right spot where you're actually hitting it. There we go. So now on the bottom left hand side of the screen, you'll see the wood that I'm getting. So far it's all been plain wood. There's 2 burled wood logs, okay? So we just got 2, so our number went from 423 to 425. And we should at least get one more group of there it is, 6 burled wood logs. So now we're at 431. And that will probably be it for this entire tree. Oh, 2 more. So we got a total of what, around 10 or 11, 12, something like that. That's a little low. Sometimes you might get 15 on or a little more on a tree. Excuse me. But so you see that number 433 slowly going down. So for that one crafting table that I've been saving up for, you need 30 of the planks that you can make with the burled wood log. So that means, because it's 100 per, we're talking about 3,000 burled wood. And that's for just one of the crafting tables. So a lot of the things at this level is requiring a good bit of gathering. So 3,000 of the burled wood, I think you're probably talking an hour and a half to 2 hours of solid cutting down trees, to make that one crafting table. So just to give you an idea, and it's not, the amount of grinding is not so much that it keeps me from enjoying the game, but it definitely, the moments where I'm trying to get that amount, see, we're up to 467. So however long we've been, gathering here, a couple minutes, few minutes, we've gotten a few, but you've got to get to 3,000 for that one crafting table. Okay, so, it doesn't take away from the enjoyment necessarily, although it is the kind of the mundane task where if you're having to do that, you basically just want to pull up a movie on Netflix or something, because it's fairly mindless, But the other thing that I think is important, and it has helped me start to enjoy the game again, because I've gotten a little bit tired of all of this resource gathering. You saw we needed gold, which we didn't have any gold bars made currently, so that's kind of the last thing I need to gather, and then I'll be able to make that crafting table that I've been saving up for. But let me show you where you can find gold at, and I think at some point it might be helpful to really go through all of the minerals and what they look like, ore and gems. Okay, that's not going to be gold. We're actually looking for the green, the tungsten, and there should be some close by. There's usually pretty good spots of it are in this area. I think this might be some right over here. And just like in the beginning stages, the tin is attached at the end of the copper vein. Well, that's where, at least in level 2 worlds, you find the gold attached to the end of the tungsten. Okay, so we need to find out if this is the beginning or the end. It looks like this is where it goes from here, so we'll keep digging in this direction with the tungsten. And sometimes it helps to dig out a little bit around it just so that you can make sure you're seeing what direction it's going in, and so that you'll have room to move. So we'll keep following it, and at the end of this tungsten vein, which sometimes the tungsten veins can be pretty large, but at the end of this vein we should run into gold. And that's where you get your gold from. And unfortunately there isn't as much gold as tungsten in these veins. Now I haven't spent much time in a tier 3 world. I had to go there to get one type of ore or metal, I can't remember what it was, just to make the current pickaxe, that the most advanced pickaxe I have, which is actually this one. And so I went there briefly, but I haven't spent much time there. So gold may be a little more prevalent there, or maybe the veins are a little bigger, I don't know. But you see now we're down to the gold here. So I had to switch what pickaxe I was using to make sure I could actually harvest the gold. Even though it's not as good a pickaxe statistically speaking, one that I have that is better doesn't have an advanced enough head on it to be able to get the gold out. Okay, so we gathered a little bit of gold, and now we'll go over to my claim. And one easy way to make sure you're heading in the right direction, take off the other filters here and just have my claim set up there, and you can see we're right on the edge of it right now. And we should be inside of it, and we should start to see our actual square of our claim where we can build. There it is. Alright, and you'll see that I currently don't have any of my crafting tables out. Okay, so what we've been working on, or what I've been working on, is the beginning of just laying down a really large wood floor. The reason I decided to do this first is because, as you can see, I've been digging out, and I've been trying to figure out exactly where the edge of my claim is. And so I've kind of gone as far to the side and as far to the back as it would let me go, at least with decent sized squares. And then the height that I'm building at, I'm trying to just stay right above this line that you see. And this is one of the mistakes that I made without really knowing what all the implications were going to be. When I laid down this claim, I raised up the area of the claim where it was going to sit pretty high. If I could do it over again, I would definitely come down a little bit more. But it is what it is. It's in alpha. It'll get reset probably at some point. But so now I'm putting down this floor. And so I wanted to show you just a little bit about sort of the different ways that I'm learning that you can put down flooring and use the building tools. And you'll notice this rock right here. Unfortunately, things like rocks and trees, they seem to be permanent at this point. Like, it's not something that I can remove from my claim. You know, if I put the delete symbol on it, where is it? For some reason my tools are not showing up. There it is. Okay, there it is. It won't even go on there. I think that's why. I think there's nothing that I can delete around here is why it's not going up over there. So anyway, the rock is just kind of there. So whatever I build here, I kind of have to build around that, at least for now. Alright, so we want to use our selection tool. And my understanding is, and I've never done it this way, but my understanding is you could make a pattern like this using the selection tool, and that's just like one voxel at a time, right? Starts here and you're spreading it out. And then I think you could do delete and then add. And then I think basically you could put a whole flooring down using that method. So like if we went to our wood, and I think we were using baseboards. Let's see if that added it. Yes, it did. So that's, now I did, look at this. You know, it might be worth going back doing the whole thing that way. Because you see what happened was it actually got built right into the dirt. Right? So it's actually one voxel than what I was doing over here. Over here I was building up one voxel high, and you can see where I've had some there's some benefits of having the building tools be fairly complex, and by the way, I haven't even unlocked all the building tools. You have to craft a lot of the more advanced ones, but there's an advantage to it. But there's also one of the disadvantages of having advanced building tools is it does take a while to get used to them. You know, like I said, that was something that I've never actually done it that way before. So normally what I do, let me show you what I've normally done. Again, take the selection tool and measure out an area. Let's say we were going to use this size, right? And if you hit, what have I been hitting? Control copy, I think. And then you got to find the right axis. So let's say we want to drag it here. Drag it to the left. Alright, and then you hit Control V for paste. And now you've got something that is basically that size. You can hit Shift Tab to change what you're adjusting. And for some reason we're not getting the up and down. That's really what we'd want to be able to adjust, is the height of it. But you just bring it up to where you've already placed and you hit left. And so now by copying that size, you know, shape, I now can place that size shape wherever I want to. And I just clicked on 5 instead of placing it again. So now one interesting thing that seems to happen, let's see. Alright, so it is letting us do it again. Sometimes sometimes I can't get it to continue from there. So we could move it to here. Uh-oh, it disappeared. Yeah, I think I accidentally clicked with the selection tool out. So anyway, it is a little finicky, and obviously that is probably as much user error as anything else. Once you master the tools, I think a lot of this becomes a lot easier. Not that you don't ever have mistakes, but there are ways to undo whatever you've last done and then redo it if you want to. So, but this is interesting. I'm kind of glad I tried this. So, you know, it may be worth just doing the whole floorboard with this, doing it this way instead of the way I was trying to do it. Because again, doing it like I was doing it over here, with trying to get it one level above, and then some of them not being one level above, and then over here, because we're kind of coming out on top of, you know, straight out. You can see here's another spot where there's a mistake made. It's much harder to place it. It's supposed to sort of snap to, or you know, if you're trying to get it to snap to, usually you can, but sometimes it didn't snap to correctly. It'd be one voxel higher or lower. And honestly, with the angles, it's just hard to see sometimes. So anyway, again, I'm sure I'll do more videos on this. Artrex and I may do some more together. I want to just get more and more comfortable with the building tools so that I can start experimenting with some of the potential. You know, right, what we were using there was basically a combination of the selection. It was mostly the selection tool, to be honest. But then, you know, the add tool or the delete tool are also things I've been using a lot. Heal tool is just going to put things back how it was originally on the server. So if I started healing all this dirt would be filled back in, right? So, and then the smooth tool is what I was showing you, what Artrex had used earlier to sort of smooth out the hard lines. And according to how much you do it, it can either be very slight or more of a drastic smoothing. So pretty cool. And I think those are all the tools I have. And you see right now I've got all the crafting tables that I own in my just on my person. Just you can pick them up anytime you want and put them back in your inventory. And I did that just because, obviously, with clearing out all this land, I didn't really have a place to put them just yet. So I don't know long term what I'm going to build. You know, if I'll even use this floorboard that I'm putting in long term. It's kind of weird to put the floor in before you have a structure. but I just wanted to get something other than the dirt so I could just start playing with the building tools, and obviously I'd love to get like some sort of, other than this, just a view of this dirt, get something up, even if it is sort of weird to do it that way. Just wanting to, part of it is seeing, you know, and because I put my claim up so high, whatever I do, I'm going to probably need to build up, because I can't build down. I mean, this is the bottom of it right here. So to have any space really at all, I need to build up, and you can see where the claim goes out to, out here, and there's a little bit of a buffer area, like you can only sort of build to about here within your cube, and then on the sides it gets pretty close on the sides. You can see where the buffer area is on the sides. Let's go look on this side. You can kind of see, and I might be able to get, I don't know if I could take, I probably could do a couple more squares, a little voxel size. Yeah, it looks like 3. So that is actually how deep it gets. Okay, it is going all the way up to the edge. See, I was playing with this last night and it didn't go that far, but it looks like I actually could go a little deeper. It's just when you use, so that should work, huh? It's not. I think, oh, it is now. Okay. Okay, so that is showing me more accurately, I guess, how close I can get. And since this square is the size that it is, of course you use your mouse wheel to adjust how big of a square you have. So if I go back smaller again, then I could take it actually all the way to the edge. And that would be a lot of sort of deleting there. And I don't know, you know, if, and I haven't played with using this to delete. We'll see if that worked. It sure did, didn't it? So it looks like using the selection tool actually makes things a lot easier on you, whether you're adding or deleting. That selection tool is pretty powerful. It's just a matter of mastering it and really understanding how to use it. We've got a big area now, so then if we hit our selection, our delete tool, see how it turns blue, and we just deleted everything in there. So everything that was in our selection area. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, as you can see, I'm still learning on the fly here, but I'd like to do more videos on Everquest Next Landmark, and just a matter of maybe updating the progression of experimenting with different building tools, and as I understand, I'm trying to get some more videos up, as well as what I may do eventually is actually go back to more of a beginner's guide and really look at what you need to gather first and what you should build first, and kind of go through some of that. So if there's any specific requests anybody has as you watch these videos, let me know, because I'm open to suggestions. I mean, this game's still in alpha, so some things could change, but I think a lot of the sort of core of the game will sort of remain the same with just some adjustments here and there as we go. So anyway, thanks for watching.